Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, you're very much welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming. Please do well to subscribe, like. I'm so happy to have you on here. Thank you so much for watching my last video. It got over 100 views, and you know, for us new YouTubers, having 100 views means like a lot to us. So thank you for watching. This is a continuation of the last video. You know, in the video I made it like a general video, and I promised to come up with a location specific video. So here you have it. This is about giving birth or having a baby in the UK, like the start to the end process, like everything in between basically. And I'm so sorry about every inconveniences you see or notice in this video. Firstly, I had just set up to record and my mic just went bad. Plus the lightning, were in the winter season and it gets dark quite early. I couldn't record earlier. So yeah, forgive every other thing in this video. I just hope you're able to get the basic information I'm going to be sharing with you on this video. Like, this is just the best I can do, and I just have to do what I have to do. I just want to mention that I know UK is broad. Things might be done differently from one location to the other. But yeah, this is just me speaking about my experience. I live in the UK, England to be specific. So this applies to anyone in England, or if it applies to you, if you live in any part of the UK, or if you're just coming into the UK to have a baby, this information is for you. So grab your notes. If you're pregnant, congratulations. And if you're trusting God, hoping on God, don't worry, don't lose faith. It will definitely come. I assure you, to come by the grace of God. Before this year runs out, yeah, definitely you will have your baby. So yeah, I got pregnant and I confirmed at home using the pregnancy test kit, the paper strip. I'm going to put it on screen. I mentioned in my last video about how you can test from home. So yeah, after I confirmed, I remember asking a doctor friend of mine, so what do I do now? He advised me to call my GP. So for context, GP is general practitioner, and in the UK there's what we call the GP surgery. It's like a head facility or a head center where doctors are housed and they offer health services to their local communities. Yeah, and it is advised that your GP surgery should be close to your house, right? Such that you can easily walk in for any health services, right? And anything more complicated or anything they can attend to, they would refer you to the general, like the bigger hospital. So yeah, GPs, the general practitioners, the doctors, they work in the GP surgery. So if you're a doctor or if you live in the UK, please expand more on this GP surgery thing in the comments. I could have easily walked in because mine was close to my house, but I decided to call. I called them, and so I have two experiences, right? So I'm going to be talking just from the two joined together. So I called them, and the person I spoke with was so nice, even though it felt like it was the most awkward call I ever made in my life. Like, how am I going to call stranger and just say, hello, I'm pregnant? I felt like, were they going to be happy for me? I felt like, how is it gonna be? I felt so shy, but yeah, I just had to do what I had to do, because the earlier you call them, the better. The person asked me a few questions like, do I know when I conceived and all that details. So, and she promised to call me back, that I was going to get a call from my midwife. And yes, I did get a call, and this was during COVID. They would have asked me to come in, but they did call and ask me lots of questions about my medical history and so much more. Like, they would ask you about health issues in your family, if you know or have any, and all that. From you and your husband, they would just get to know so many things generally. And after that, I got letters referring me to the hospital for blood tests. That's like the main hospital. I went to the main hospital for blood test, and I just want to mention here that you get lots of letters recommending you or referring you to the hospital, and they would usually put the address there. If you're unsure, you can easily use Google Map. Google Map works very well. You can easily use Google Map to locate there. But on the other side, if you're driving, you can use GPS or SatNav or whatever navigation system you have. And if you're using Ubers, the Uber drivers will usually know where the maternity ward is. The reason I'm saying this is because in my own hospital, they have like the main entrance where everybody tend to like drop and walk in, but like the maternity section is like at the other left hand side, like the other side of the hospital. So if you're taking an Uber, you can easily just, the driver will definitely know where the maternity section is and take you there. So you just follow the address given on the letter. So I followed the address, I went for the blood test, and the blood test is like a lot, like they just put it in and they were just putting different, I feel like they were draining my whole blood. That's funny actually, but it's going to be quite a lot because they're going to do different tests, run different tests. Yeah, and after then I think I also got letters for scan. I got the letter for scan. It will usually be written on the letters that you'd have to drink lots of water and come with a full bladder basically. So I make sure I drank lots of water. I was waiting at the reception. I kept drinking more and more until I went in with a full bladder. Sonographers did their thing and all that, and you usually just see baby and all that is going on in your tummy on the screen. And I felt like the first time I went in, you know, for the few weeks you were pregnant, you were just like, oh, I'm pregnant, only you know like what's going on with you. But by the time you get on there, when you're seeing your baby on the screen, it's like, so I'm really pregnant. Like when I saw baby, I was like, oh, this baby is inside me, so something is really happening inside. Like it felt so real, like, oh, now I know I am pregnant, now I know a lot is going on inside of me. From I felt so joyful. I understand you usually be asked if you want the pictures, yeah, and you get the pictures. In my hospital it was like £5 cash, £5 either cash or card thereabout. So you just pay and get the pictures just for memory's sake, for keepsake. You'd get letters of appointment with your midwife. That's like at the GP surgery now, close to your house. So they would usually invite you in for they'll take your blood pressure, check your weight, your height and all that, and also they would give you flu vaccinations and every other whooping cough vaccination and every other vaccination basically. And also they would check baby's heartbeat, yeah, and you usually listen to it, and it's so wonderful. Every time I would hide my phone and record. Don't tell them, please. So if they allow you to record, that's fine. But yeah, it's so wonderful to hear your baby's heartbeat. Yeah, so that would usually be done frequently, so you get the notification or letters every time you'd go into your midwife. I'd advise you go with your questions. You know, I mentioned this in my last video. Ensure to ask them about lots of things basically, and don't forget to ask them about the NHS exemption certificate. If you live in the UK, the NHS exemption certificate basically is just to allow you free prescription and other free health services during the period of your pregnancy till 12 months after. And they would give you that. I don't know if it's still printed now. I got a printed copy then. So they would give you that, and it will exempt you anytime you have any prescription. It will be free for you. You didn't have to pay. That's all I can say for during pregnancies and all that. Yeah, antenatal class as well. They would recommend you for antenatal classes, either with your midwife, or if they have like a local group one, they would recommend you, and you would go and meet up with other pregnant women. It was so insightful. For my first baby, I didn't have that because it was during COVID, so it was just like with my midwife. And my second baby, I went to a local community clinic, and I met with other pregnant women. It was such a wonderful time connecting with people that are pregnant just like you, and I got so many important information. Forgive me if I am cringing or whatever. There is so much cold where I am. I'm not using the heater and it's quite cold, so even my voice can tell. You see what I go through to film. You see why you have to subscribe, right? Right now I'm freezing. Please subscribe. You see the sacrifice that goes on, right? Subscribe, right? After that is the delivery. They would usually book you in. I think you have a last appointment before your 40th week. And if you don't have your baby after 40 weeks, you also have another appointment, and you usually be booked for delivery. You be booked for delivery on your 40th week. I booked for induction. Yeah, they said I needed to have induction. I don't know why, but I had my baby a day prior. So after I had my baby, during the process, they encouraged me to push. My husband was there. They were also encouraging him, carrying him along. And when baby was coming, they asked him to cut the cord. He was scared. But yeah, that's about it. And after that, they took good care of me and baby, and they taught my husband how to put baby diapers and all that. And after that, they would move you from the delivery suite to another room entirely, where you'd have to stay for 2 or more days. 2 days if you're quite healthy and you're okay, you'll be allowed to go home. That's after like so many checks have been done on you. But if you're not, you'd usually be asked to stay back. I had to stay back 4 extra days after my second baby due to low iron level. So yeah, if you're very okay, you'll be asked to go home. But yeah, while you're staying back for the 2 days, they would check for baby sight, baby's hearing. They would check you, take your blood pressure every moment, just basically taking care of you, teach you about breastfeeding positions. They would check to ensure baby is feeding well, latching well, and getting enough milk and all that. They would help you. In fact, sometimes they might even bring a professional in case baby is not latching well. They would bring a professional to advise you and all that. And after that, before discharge, I had like a full lecture. I had a lady come in with like a computer, and she sat down and gave me an extensive lecture about baby breastfeeding, baby helplines and all that. So many things. And you usually be given a red book from there, which contains all of baby's health record for like the whole of their life. So you'll be given that red book and every other meaningful information you would usually be given. And after that, I was discharged to go home. And I remember they were saying that I'll be assigned a head visitor, and the head visitor was going to visit me the next day, which is the day after I left the hospital, then 5 days after, then 14 days after. I thought it was a joke, like, how can you take care of me so much? I'm leaving the hospital and you're following me home tomorrow. But for real, they came. So that's how it's done for my first and second baby. The next day after you get home, the head visitor is like a trained nurse or midwife. They usually come to your house the next day to check where baby is sleeping, to ensure baby, safe sleep, right? They would ensure that baby has a good sleeping space and you're not sleeping with baby, you just know. But if you don't know, yeah, safe sleep is usually emphasized in the UK. It is advised that you don't sleep with your baby less than 6 months old, so that you don't sleep on them. Safe sleeping is also about making sure that their cot or their baby bed are okay and cannot suffocate or cannot do any harm to baby, basically. So yeah, the head visitor will come the next day to check all that, and also come with a scale to weigh baby. Yeah. And also check you and ensure you're fine. After that, the 5th day they would come. That's like the 5th day after you come back from the hospital. They would come back to check you, weigh baby on the scales, to check if baby has lost the birth weight. And I think they said new babies usually lose 10%, right, of their birth weight. I don't know if that's correct, but if you are in the UK and you've gone through the process, please put it down on the comment. Let's learn. So yeah, after the 5th day, the next time the health visitor will come is on the 14th day. Same thing, they would check everything as usual, and also check you. Some people have tear during delivery, so they'll ensure you're healing well and fast, and ensure you're okay, baby is still latching well, feeding well, you're okay even mentally, because there is postpartum blues, right? So they would make sure, ask you lots of questions. Are you okay? Are you happy? Hope you're not feeling sad about baby. Hope you're not feeling like baby is stealing you or whatever. They will just ask for all that details, right? And if you feel okay, if you're perfect, they'll usually refer you. For me, we had like a local clinic close to me, so they referred me for discharge. So I went there with baby. They checked me, checked baby, ensure we were okay, and they discharged us basically. And discharge does not mean like letting you, it's just like letting you go of like the primary care you've received so far. So they wouldn't like put eye on you for now, but you're still welcome to go into the hospital at any time if you have any concerns. It's all I can remember. I know I have other videos coming on different parts of postpartum, having a baby, giving birth, even the Red Book I'm still going to talk about, make a video on that. So please keep an eye on this channel if this interests you, or if you know someone who would be interested, just invite them to this channel. But for now, this is all I can say about giving birth in the UK. If you have a question, let me know in the comments. In all fairness, I'd rate their services like very high. Trust me, I feel like I was well taken care of. I don't know, others might feel otherwise, and I know there may be imperfections, but for me, I just feel it's good, because like it's okay. And if someone doesn't do their job, you wouldn't know, especially as a first-time mom. If someone doesn't teach you how to breastfeed, you would not know, right? So for every one of them turning up at the point I needed them, for that, I'm grateful, right? That's why I feel like it's, for me, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. I can't fault anyone. Yeah, it's okay. Even though, yeah, one or two imperfections here and there, but in the end, right, nobody's perfect. Yeah. So the services were great. Yeah, and that is that about it for me. And if you have any question, please put in the comment. If you have any contribution, if you live in the UK and you've gone through this process, let us know in the comments. And if you're a first-time mom, please be optimistic. You're going to be well taken care of. And if you feel anything is not right, if you feel they are missing out on anything, please speak out. You know yourself, you know what you want. And that's why, like, reading up, I always emphasize on reading up, on making your research, so that you know, in case someone is not doing their job, you can easily speak up for yourself, like, I know I'm supposed to be taking this at this moment, right? So yeah, that is all I can say. And also, baby would have vaccination at 4 weeks, at 12 weeks, at 16 weeks. So yeah, ensure to always take baby to the GP surgery for their vaccinations. Yeah, so that is all I can say for now. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. I have so much more coming up, and you'll see them, you'll like them. So subscribe, please. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Until I see you again. Bye bye.